think that we've gone maybe a little bit too far in zero tolerance, and maybe need to take another look at it and come up with some alternatives. And I would like to see the children, the students, actually stay in school in lieu of being suspended is one thing I got out of it.
Zero tolerance has really blossomed blossom's a terrible word, really increased the number of kids coming into the juvenile justice system, and it's costing us a fortune. And if we can divert kids through good means like this, then we can work more on the kids that have serious social problems and reduce the number of kids going to jail.
We haven't yet found a way to give teachers and administrators in schools good tools for how to consistently keep kids, and particularly kids of color, in school rather than tossing them out of school when we see there's a problem. It makes no sense to, as came out in the session today, for example, when a kid is truant, to say, "You bad boy, you're truant, we're going to kick you out of school." Some of the policies are inconsistent. They're not based on common sense.
Again, I go back to I would like to see personally the suspension issue addressed. I understand that schools have to be safe, and by all means, if something is going to affect the school's safety, then that child should be suspended. But I think that some students are being suspended for things that aren't necessarily safety issues. I think that child would be better served staying in the school with some alternative method of restorative justice.
We'd like to have projects going on in a number of schools throughout Florida to implement restorative justice practices, to implement them consistent with and cooperation with other practices that are like restorative justice or support restorative justice, so that we can fit them together and give teachers and administrators and juvenile justice personnel a comprehensive array of disciplinary options and alternatives.
My program has been working with Gordon Bazemore for a number of years, and he's done wonderful work. And we do have a restorative justice for some of our programs. I'm going to go back and re-energize in our program working with our kids. Also, I will continue to work with the legislature, trying to get zero tolerance in front of the legislators, and so we can address this issue in Tallahassee.
Children that are suspended for something that's not necessarily a safety issue at the school, if they're suspended and now they're out on the street, they get hooked up with the wrong crowd, they can start committing crimes. Whereas if they were in school and being dealt with on a restorative justice basis or some alternative method, they probably wouldn't get hooked up with this wrong crowd and maybe not go into that level of committing crimes.
I've been in juvenile justice 30 years. My long-range goal is to be out of business. Maybe this is one step further on lessening the number of kids going into the juvenile justice system. It's a funny system. Once you get in, it's hard to get out. And more kids we can divert before they get there, get in front of the judge, the better we'll be.
Ultimately, what I'd also like to be able to do is gather enough data and provide enough information on best practice information to show that this works and it is effective. So it becomes in effect a no-brainer, not something I have to convince people of, but something that people actually look to incorporate because they know it works. But I'd love to put myself out of a job doing this. I'd love to not be needed to do this anymore because everyone's already doing it. It becomes so a natural part of what we do and how we respond to youth in trouble.